Hi all, today we're going to talk about Nvidia and more specifically about Nvidia Q2 2025 earnings, which will be announced on August 28th after the market close. So these earnings are probably the most anticipated events in a couple of recent months in the stock market because a lot of things are kind of depend on what Nvidia will say when they publish their results. If the earnings are amazing, all the voices that have been telling us that AI is the new revolution, we're going towards amazing AI bull market, will be correct. If Nvidia, however, do not beat the market expectation, all these people, all these reports from Goldman Sachs, for example, that AI is just not ready to be monetized and all of these money that were spent for nothing. These people will prevail. So a lot of things kind of ride on this date on August 28th. And today we're going to talk about, first of all, expectation. And second of all, kind of even if things are not going the way we want them to go, what will happen then? So stay until the end of the video because in the end we're going to do a little valuation of Nvidia in kind of different conditions than we are used to. So let's start with the earnings and with the expectation. Nvidia for this quarter guided for the revenue of $28 billion, which is kind of amazing, not only compared to the revenue last year, but also the previous quarter. So Nvidia actually will earn a couple of $1 billion more this quarter. But the analysts are actually expecting Nvidia to earn more, to earn $28.54 billion, so kind of $500 million more, because they're kind of used to Nvidia sandbagging the expectation and that Nvidia is actually guiding for a lower number so they can beat it. So the good question is, will Nvidia beat the analyst expectation as well? And I think they would. Second of all of us wants to see the continuation of Nvidia dominance in the market. We have seen the statistics that Nvidia is controlling between 70 and 95% of all the AI chips market, and you can see this actually reflected in the gross margin numbers of Nvidia. For now, gross margin of Nvidia is around 78%. Now, what I think is that these numbers will not die off very soon because the narrative that this number is too high and it's going to decline with the time. It will, but not as much as people think there are. Let's take a look at Intel and AMD's numbers. So Intel's gross margin are 41%, AMD's 47%. But the interesting thing is Nvidia almost never had these margins. Nvidia's margins are always in the 55 to 65% territory. And the reason is Nvidia always invents itself as the leading company in something. So at the beginning it was the graphic cards, then suddenly it was mining, and right now this is AI. By the way, if you find this information valuable, please press a like button and subscribe to our channel. So Nvidia is the company who can place itself in the best market for stuff that where they are producing, and they can get the pricing just right. So right now Nvidia controls all the pricing because again, gross margin of 78% shows that Nvidia has complete dominance over the pricing in this market. This is one of the numbers that we will monitor during the Q2 results. The next number which we should take a look at is the net profit margin. So Nvidia did something quite insane. Its net profit margin right now climbed above 50%. Now this is probably not going to be sustainable, so I would expect these margins to go down to about 30-35%. So this is the number we're going to monitor, and this is the number that we're gonna pay attention to during the quarterly earnings. Probably the most important thing out of these earnings will be the guidance for growth. A lot of people right now said that we are at the top of the kind of AI investment business, and who else is going to buy from Nvidia? That hyperscalers bought everything they needed to buy and no more money will go toward Nvidia and buying their GPUs. But this is simply not true. Right now, the expectation is that the AI market will grow to about $836 billion by 2030. Right now, in 2024 is actually not the peak of AI investment. The peak of AI investment was in 2021. We're not even close to the peak. It will happen actually next year. So there is a lot of room to grow, and the AI market in the next 6 years is expected to grow 37% year over year. So if Nvidia doesn't lose any of its market share. I'm not saying about actually increasing its dominance over other company, but just not to lose the market share, Nvidia will grow about 37%, and this we'll see in the valuation by the end of this video. Before we go into valuation, mini disclaimer, we are actually holding Nvidia stock and we are adding more Nvidia stock as times goes by, and I will show you right now in this mini valuation of why. So a couple of things before we begin, and I will show you the numbers. I have assumed absolutely worst thing for Nvidia, which probably can happen, and if you think that my valuation is too pessimistic, it's supposed to be too pessimistic. I wanted to kind of show if nothing goes right for Nvidia starting from now on until 2030, what will happen to the stock price. Okay, so my assumptions are this year Nvidia grows 108%. This kind of already reflected in the numbers for the company and their guidance, and I assume this what will happen. Next year Nvidia will lose all of its competitive advantage. Nvidia will have absolutely nothing. Someone will catch up and Nvidia will grow as we expect AI market to grow, so by 38%. Starting 2027 until 2030, Nvidia not only loses all of its competitive advantage, it actually grows twice as slow as the AI market. So Nvidia becomes the lagging company after that. By the way, if you kind of lost us and you don't follow, this is my assumptions for a very pessimistic valuation. That's not my prediction. I actually think Nvidia is going to dominate this market for many years in the future, but humor me for now. My next expectation is that the forward PE ratio for Nvidia right now it's about 44. So my expectation is that starting pretty much this quarter, forward PE ratio of Nvidia will be the average for the stocks of its kind. So Nvidia not only lost all of its competitive advantage, but the market sees it as just another company. So instead of 44, I assuming that the forward PE ratio will kind of be between 31 and 32. Nvidia is having all of its gross margin getting back to around 60%, which I explained why over the years Nvidia had this advantage, and that the net profit margin is going back to 35. So kind of everything went bad for Nvidia. Now let's take a look at the numbers. So I explained about the revenue growth, the revenue 175 in 2025. By the way, when I'm writing here years, I'm actually referring to fiscal years of Nvidia. Right now, Nvidia in Q2 of 2025. So these numbers are in about 2 quarters. So revenue numbers are going from 175 to 346 in 2030. Earnings per share are going from about $3 this year to about $8.76 in 2030. Now take a look at the stock price. Given all of this, stock price is expected to be around 132 this year. It's a bit more than it is right now, and the stock price is gradually going up. So it's 205 in 2027, and it's getting to 307 in 2030. Now, all these numbers, of course, assuming that we don't have any major catastrophe in the world, but with the world right now, you can't know if like huge war is coming to your door next week or something horrible like that. I wish, by the way, for all of us to kind of have a peaceful investment life and not to deal with it. For now, we're waiting for August 28th for the results. Again, we will be probably looking at the results live. Of course, we'll record another video after the announcement and we will kind of go through all of these results together with you and explain everything that happened. That's all for now. Thank you very much for your attention and we'll see you in the next video.